And good evening, everyone. I am so glad you signed in tonight. And I do hope to have a little bit of fun and learn a little bit as we go along about ourselves and how we look and feel about ourselves. So if you didn't get a flexible measuring tape, or if you get a string and a ruler, that would work too, or a string and a yardstick, that will work. And then you'll probably want paper and pencil, because if you're like me, you can't remember the numbers once you've measured. You have to write them down. Please feel free to put questions in the chat, and that way you won't forget them as we go. And I don't have to try to read them as we go. Someone else will be kind of keeping an eye on those, and they will ask them at some point or when we get to the end of the session. Here we go. First, just take a deep breath, because I don't know about you, but it's been a day. I administered state testing. I help with that at one of the elementary schools. And that's just an experience in itself for those of you that don't remember. And then we had a chapter meeting this afternoon that ended at 6, and I chair that. So it's just, and I had my second dose of the COVID vaccine yesterday. So I've had one of those, I just want to take a nap days and a headache all day. So I'm going to ask for a little grace here, but I'm going to do my best. So just take a deep breath and relax, and we'll go through this. It's just listen, learn, and enjoy yourself. There's no pressure here. I want you to close your eyes and picture your closet. How many of you have opened those doors or slid them, whatever happens? You've walked into a small room, if you're lucky, and you've said, I don't have anything to wear, or I hate my wardrobe. Or you pull a particular piece out and you look at it and you say, what was I thinking? Maybe you're one of those people that has sizes 6 through 20 in your closet, but you're a 12 or a 14 currently. There's always that currently thing. For me, I've said all of those things at one time, and probably many more of similar phrases. And the size range in my closet at one time probably went from a size 10 to a size 26. There were several things at play there. And it's probably the case for you as well. Some of us tend to overbuy. Some of us tend to think, I'm going to save that because I'll get back in it. And somebody gave me this and I want to hang on to it because I really like it and it's going to fit me. Or I have that special occasion and I just know this will be perfect for it. But it hangs there and hangs there and hangs there. But we want to look good and we want to feel comfortable in what we wear. We want updated clothing as well as a neat and organized closet. And then we want the right clothes for the way we live our lives. So this is my story. And maybe it's similar to yours, maybe it's not. But we've all got those little things we can work on when it comes to us and our closets. I've always been one of those bigger girls. I was a size 14 by my freshman year in high school. I was never, except maybe at birth, one of those size zeros that could shop in the trendy stores at the mall. My weight bounced, and I use that word because I was very curvy and roly-poly. So my weight bounced back and forth for years until about 2002, when I started researching gastric bypass surgery. There were several reasons for that. At 45 years old, I was nearly 300 pounds. And I wasn't any taller than I am right now. I was 5'2" then, I'm 5'2" now. So you can imagine I was just about as wide as I was tall. My husband had died suddenly a few years earlier, and he wasn't going to be around for birthdays, graduations, vacations, weddings, any of those special milestones. And I was now the sole parent for my 2 daughters. And if I didn't do something soon, I wasn't going to be around for them either. You can pretty much name any diet, and I had tried it. I despised exercise. I still do, but I'm better at it because I know it's what I have to do. And I felt I always looked frumpy. There were few, if any, choices for trendy clothes for a person of my size. Nothing fashionable, I felt. And I love to travel, but asking for a seatbelt extension on an airplane is absolutely humiliating. I had to jump through numerous hoops, but I was finally approved for and had the surgery in late 2005. So if you can imagine a whole other person standing next to me, that was what I looked like. I began losing weight rapidly, 17 pounds in the first 3 days. And I realized that I was going to need a lot of clothes. They were planning on me losing over 100 to 150 pounds. And I was going through a set of clothing a week, a whole size, if not more, not sooner. So I would buy those, but my budget was screaming at me, you can't do this, stop, stop, stop. And my girls were in college and in high school and participating in sports and all of those things. I couldn't spend all our extra money on my wardrobe. So thus began my love affair with thrift shops. And I'd not ever shopped at a thrift store before or a consignment shop, but out of necessity, I learned to do that. At the time, they didn't have fitting rooms in thrift stores. So I would look around and I would pull something off the rack. And if I liked it, I bought it. I would bring it home and launder it. Now, keep in mind, those things are not returnable at a thrift store. So I would launder it, try it on, and then in many cases, most cases, what stood before me in the mirror was not at all what I envisioned in the store. So then I began to acquire this pile of stuff that I'd spent money on, couldn't wear, and that wasn't working for me either. I tried to dress nicely and fashionably, but the result always seemed to be frumpy. I liked color, but at that size, color was navy, maybe brown, black for sure, nothing really bright. And when I say I like color, I like bright colors. There had to be more to it though than just colors. So a little more self-examination ensued. And I began to look into body types and shapes, facial shapes, necklines, everything that had to do with me and what would look good on me. I didn't want to look frumpy anymore. My body was changing and changing rapidly. And I needed to figure out how to deal with it. First and foremost, I go for comfort. At that time, I was still teaching full time. And I dressed up every day. Even now, as I go in to work on these tests or to sub or whatever, I'm often mistaken for the principal because I dress to do the job. When I was teaching, we didn't wear jeans except on a field trip, maybe. And definitely not yoga pants. There is way too much of me to put in yoga pants. Not doing it ever. Never have, never will. It just shows way too much of me, and no, not doing it. Then came the thought, what's going to look best on this body? What's going to look best with my face? This is what I have to work with. It's not always easy to look at that and say, look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what you're working with. This is it. What are you going to do with it? My body wasn't changing as rapidly, but it was still changing. And I don't know that there'll ever really be an end because this is an ongoing process for me. I am always, always, always watching what I eat, watching my exercise. I wear an Apple Watch that tells me if I need to stand up and move, all those different things. It's an ongoing process. But with my body, you don't see its real shape because of all the excess skin I have. So I have to work with that as well. As I said, it's not always pleasant. So let's look at some body shapes. Let's pull up the first slide. And there are several that will show you different types of body shapes. Now, you're going to look at these and try to figure yourself out. No one's going to judge you. You're judging yourself. So, Debbie, don't worry about it. I'm not going to make you measure it. You will just look and listen to the description and figure out which one is you. No one's probably in the room with you, so there's no one to critique or contradict what you think. But it does help if you are truly honest with yourself. So the first body type is round. And I think everyone who is heavy set automatically thinks their body shape is round, but that's not the case. The round, or sometimes it's called apple body shape, is narrow on the top and the bottom and is fuller through the tummy. Your shoulders could be wide, narrow, or rounded. And your backside tends to be flat. But your middle is very rounded. Scoop neck and deep V necklines are best for you because they will elongate the look of your torso and they'll draw attention to your face. So if you want to take the attention off that roundness in the middle, you're going to look at scoop necks and deep V's that draw the eye up. High and turtleneck lines will make your bust line look larger. So if you don't want that to happen, keep those two necklines on the back burner. Let's look at the triangle shape. The triangle is just what it says. You've got a narrow top, shoulders, and then your hips become wider. A bateau, square, cowl, and jewel neckline add width and balance to your hips. Now we're going to look in a little bit at a chart of necklines, and that'll help you if you don't know what all these necklines are. V-necks are pretty much universally flattering, and there are different kinds of V-necks. Some are wider, some are narrower, some are longer. But universally, anybody can wear, almost universally, I should say, anybody can wear a V-neck. But the high V, wider V is going to be most flattering on a triangle body. Then there's the inverted triangle, where your shoulders are broad, but your hips are narrow. Again, you often have a flat backside and little or no waist definition. Cowl necklines, halter necklines, deep scoops, and V necklines are best for you. Maybe you haven't found your shape yet, but there are more. Look at the rectangle shape. The rectangle shape is straight up and down. Your shoulders and your hips are pretty much the same size, and you don't have much waist definition. You are pretty much a plank, straight up and down. Halter, deep scoop, and deeper V necklines look great on you. Asymmetrical necklines and shawl collars will add softness to your shoulders and to the squareness, or I should say the rectangleness really, of your body. So those sweaters that come out and rest like a shawl on your shoulder kind of give you some definition and widen your shoulders just a bit. Finally, let's look at everyone's dream, the hourglass shape. The hourglass silhouette is balanced through the shoulders and hips like the rectangle, but you have the well-defined waistline. Lucky you. Crew, scoop, boat neck, V-necks, just all kinds of things are flattering for you. The one thing that is not is a boxy top. You don't want to wear something that is just draped straight down. You want it to have a little bit of an A-line of what's now popular are the fit and flare dresses. They have a little bit of shape to them, and they will accentuate your waist and that hourglass shape that you have. So in addition to your body shape is your neck. So you have maybe a short neck, or you may have a longer neck. Let's look first at necklines. We'll pull up the slide of necklines, and you can see some of these that I talked about. Now, there are a lot of those that I will not wear. I know they don't look good on me. I am very comfortable in a scoop, around, a boat. Those tend to feel comfortable on me. A sweetheart necklace or a sweet neckline is another one of those that many people can wear. I have a thing too about sleeves. I'm just going to throw this in there. I have those wings, that flop from losing the weight in my arms. And so I don't like to wear sleeveless, halter, those kinds of things, unless I've got a cover up over it. I'm very conscious, self-conscious, I should say, of my arms. All of these have names. Some of them I didn't even know they had names, but there you have it. I don't need to know all of those names. I just need to figure out what's best for my body and my neckline, my neck, and remember those names. So my neck is very short. and it's not very wide. I have a pin head, so I know that those shapes I mentioned work for me. Let's look now at the next slide. Here's where you're going to use your measuring tape, because when you look at your body type and your neck and the necklines, then you also want to look at the shape of your face, because this has to do with your haircut, the glasses you buy, the sunglasses you buy, all of those kinds of things. And all of this helps you with a put together look so that you feel good, feel confident. And my big thing, I don't look frumpy. I hope. In my opinion, I don't look frumpy anymore. All right, so here's where you're going to put your measuring tape to work. You have oval, square, oblong, diamond, heart, and round. And then you see a photo and an actual photo of, or you see the picture and then the actual photo of someone who has that type of face. So you're going to measure your face, and then I'll describe these in more detail. So here we go. Take these measurements of your face and write each one down. So you're going to measure your face from the edge of your hairline right here to the bottom of your chin. And you're going to multiply that by 2. I wish I could see you all. I'm sure it's an interesting thing to watch. And be careful, if your measuring tape is like mine, it has about a ½ inch extra tape on the end of it. So make sure you don't have that. So you're going to measure from your hairline to the tip of your chin. And then, assuming it's the same size, we're just going to multiply by 2. After you've done that, then you're going to measure cheekbones. So your cheekbones are right here. So you're going to measure hairline to hairline at your cheekbones. Kind of hard to do. Hairline to hairline at your cheekbones, and write that down. And then you're going to measure hairline to hairline across your forehead. Like this. Once you've got those 3 measurements, 4 measurements, did we do all of them? Forehead, cheekbones. Oh, no, we forgot one. The other one goes from the edge of your hairline to the bottom of your chin, this way. Compare those 4 measurements and pick out the largest measurement. That should help you figure out your face shape, especially if you look at the pictures and the photographs on the screen. The oval face length is greater than the width of the cheekbones. So if you have an oval face, this measurement is bigger than this measurement. And the forehead measurement is greater than this measurement. The angle of your jaw is round rather than sharp or pointed. As you would expect, if you have a square face, all the measurements are fairly similar. And the angle of the jaw is angular. The jaw is angular. Kind of pronounced. It's not rounded off. If you have a rectangle or an oblong face, again, your face length is the greatest measurement. But the other 3, here and here and here, should be about the same. If your face is round, your cheekbones and face length have a similar measurement. So if you think about it, it would be like cutting a pie in half both ways, and you have a similar diameter. The angle of the jaw, or the edge of the jaw, should be more rounded, not very angular. That's on a round face. On a diamond-shaped face, this is going to be your longest measurement. And the real telltale is a pointed chin. Your chin comes to a point, and your smallest measurement is your jawline, which is, of course, why your chin comes to a point. And with a heart-shaped face, forehead measures greater than these 2, and your chin is pointed. Some different stylists will also throw in triangular, and that is where your jawline measures greater than cheekbones. So this jawline is actually going to come out past your cheekbones, and your forehead is going to be smaller than this measurement and this measurement. So now you've figured out your face shape, your neck, and your body type. You can make informed decisions, and you don't have to go into any store and just grab something. Now you can head to the thrift store with this information at your fingertips. There is a wealth of treasures in a thrift store. Let me tell you, I am addicted. It doesn't matter what state, city, country I'm in, I will find a thrift store. I love it. I have to talk myself out of things frequently because I really don't need them. It's easy to be overwhelmed. and you need to be slow and thoughtful. Is it something you need, not something you want? And there is a learning curve. I love the thrift store nearest me. It's an Ohio Thrift, but they are OCD like me. And their things are hanging in colors of the rainbow, just like my closet. And they hang from spaghetti straps to tanks to cap sleeves to short sleeves to 3/4 sleeves to long sleeves, just like my closet. I love it. So I can go in knowing exactly what I need and look for it. And that kind of helps me focus too, because my eye can kind of get drawn to other things. So that helps me focus. So let's look at what you need in your closet. It's really not a lot. Let's look at the basic staples. You don't need a lot for basic staples. You can take these 7 or 8 pieces and you've got a wardrobe that will take you through just about anything. You want to start with things in a solid and neutral colors. Now, this kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first because this is all I had to choose from when I weighed nearly 300 pounds. But the good thing is now I can buy those things and add the color to them. So you're looking for tops that are white, ivory, blush, gray, navy, black. So they go from light to dark, and you can choose what kind of sleeve you want, whether you need a cami, a tank top. You can see here in the picture. I always have to have a white t-shirt kind of thing. I almost always have to have a white cami and a black cami. That's just me. But a white blouse of some sort, the little black dress, you know how that goes. The bottoms, white, denim, gray, cognac, navy, black. Those are your staples. Just like your pantry should have flour, sugar, salt, some of those things. These would be the staples in your wardrobe, like flour and sugar, and you're going to build the rest of your wardrobe on those things. Now, the nice thing is when you go to a thrift store, you're going to get those things maybe $3 to $5 each. And maybe I kind of set a limit for myself. I don't pay very much for things. I'm cheap. It's just the way I am. But I have found designer clothes and I have found brand name clothes with the tags still on them. And I'll pay $3 to $5 for something. Now that you have the staples in your closet, how do you dress that up? How do you add the fashion? Well, look at the next one. You add the fashion and it shows your personality, or it shows your likes. Maybe you like polka dots or animal prints or geometrics, or maybe you're ready to take a little risk with something new. So here you see the fashion slide. So you throw out some color, or you add a fur vest or something quilted. I'm going to step out of the camera for a second. So I'm wearing your basic black. I have on just a black 3/4 sleeve with a wool poncho. Couldn't believe in April that I needed a wool poncho. It's got a little fringe on it. And you'll see that that's one of the things, just to give it some texture. So I wear a little poncho with the fringe. This one also sheds terribly. I've got the quilted vest that I love. And the thing is, this can go with the black or it can go with my jeans. It doesn't much matter. Switch this off. And oops. Again, I think this vest was $4 from the thrift store. Honest to goodness, the only thing I don't buy at the thrift store is underwear. I have to have a good bra and I have to have good underwear. So everything else, literally, my coat, well, it's a few years old now. I bought it because I was subbing quite a bit and I needed a playground coat. It's a Lands End down-filled parka. Still had all the factory tags on it when I picked it up. And I paid $40 for it. I came home, punched the numbers into Google. It was a $250 coat. Straight from the factory. It might have been last year's model. I don't know. I didn't care. It's a down-filled parka, brand new. I paid $40 for a $250 coat. The other nice thing about this is it's reversible and it's khaki on the other side. So that works. If you love your animal prints, again, your basic black, but you stick your animal print on top of it. This is going to be a mess to clean up when I get done. Luckily, I'm in my bedroom and it won't bother anybody else. Again, I told you I like color. This is my little $7 Leslie Bay jacket. And it's full of color. It kind of looks, I guess it's too much to be a Jackson Pollock painting, but it's kind of on that note. They suggest herringbone. There's the herringbone. All sorts of things. Kimonos are in style, and I love those because, again, they cover this. So I have kimonos in every length, every style. And again, I might pay $5 or $7 for them. And many times they have the tags on them. And again, the dress that this kimono is with is a Lands End dress. They did a Lands End buyout at the thrift store. And I paid $4.99 for my Lands End dress. So and then I bought the kimono as well. Lots of color. I told you I like color. So there are lots of ways to add fashion. I didn't even mention shoes. Lord have mercy, I have a whole closet of just shoes because that's something else entirely. I shouldn't admit that. All right, so then let's look at my mannequin over here. I have these. And I had them set up last night. Do you know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and see this guy standing at the end of your bed? Oh.
Hey, Bev,
Yes.
you finished? Are you finished with the slides?
Yes, I believe I am. No, I think there's one more.
Okay.
One more. I can cover that real quick if you like.
You're okay.
Okay.
I was just going to put it down so they could see more of what you're doing.
You can do that if you like.
There.
So yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and there are 3 people standing at the end of my bed. That was rather unnerving. Anyway, this is a 2-piece suit that I paid $9 for at the thrift store. It's a pinstripe, and the pinstripe is white, but I have put white underneath it before, but this is just a light blue that I put under it. And there are lots of ways to dress this up. And you could just put a scarf around it like this. And the scarf was $1. So, you know, you pay a few dollars for a suit, $1 for a scarf, and there you have it. Or I have this necklace that I like, and it's got light blue beads on it with brown. So that's why I have the blue shirt underneath. And it goes. And you're probably wondering, why does she have all those mannequins and stuff like that? I do this for groups. That's why I've never done this virtually. I've always done it in person. And I do it for individuals or for groups. And so that's why I have mannequins and that sort of thing. But it just gives it a little pop. Then this is one of my go-tos. This is just a plain charcoal gray dress, but it's comfortable the way it is, but it just sort of hangs there. And again, you look frumpy because it just hangs there. So I can add a red belt. Maybe get the hole in the pin in the right hole here. So we've got the red belt. It's not going to go small enough with no hips to hold it. And of course, I have red shoes and I have red cowboy boots. I have my Ohio State scarf, or I have a red necklace that will go with it. And I love hats too. I'm terrible, I tell you, I'm terrible. So I wear my red fedora as well. But it doesn't take much. This was a gift, thrift store. I used to sell this kind of stuff. So it really doesn't take much. Again, there's probably not, if you don't count the jewelry, there's probably not $10 in this outfit. Also at the thrift store, I got my Land's End bathing suit, 2-piece tankini. It was $14. Each piece was $7. Brand new. Still had the tags on it. Another buyout. So this is an outfit that I 100% thrift store. It has underneath a spaghetti strap, peach colored top. I would not wear that because my arms would show. So I bought, this is Land's End as well. I bought it, and I bought coral colored pants to go with it. And then I'm a jewelry person. I know I've got lots of vices. And that goes with it as well. Now, again, those kimonos, I love them because you can dress them up or dress them down. Kimonos look good with jeans. And I have bought, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, there's probably 7 or 8 here. I bought it at the store because it's such an easy way to add color, and you can get them so cheap. But this is just my little black t-shirty dress, and my thrift store kimono that goes over it. And all of a sudden my little t-shirty dress is dressy. And whoops, not quite right there. There we go. Put the necklace with it, and we're all good. And I could wear that little t-shirty dress out somewhere for dinner. So it's not difficult, but you can see it's easy to get carried away. My aim is to have those staples in my closet and pull the pieces that will add color and dress my clothes up or dress them down. I like to get my outfit and then complete it with the accessories. A little bling and then some lipstick or lip gloss. I just feel complete that way. My aim is to keep the focus off the body parts I don't like. I am that triangle pear shaped body. I have these wings on my arms and I'm big on the bottom. So I want the attention to go from my rear to my ears, from my hips to my lips, and from my thighs to my eyes. So that's what I work at. So I'm looking at bringing the color up here, adding accessories, and bringing the focus up away from all this down here that nobody wants to look at. I don't want anybody to look at. That's it. When you go into a thrift store, take your time, look carefully. Yeah, you can get some bad things. So take your time. A lot of it's junk, but a lot of it's not. I have a couple of designer pieces. I have my Calvin Klein $12 dress. And look at that, it's all patterned all the way down. I don't typically do that, but it fit me so well at one time. Now it doesn't fit me, it's too big. And I just toned it down with the little black sweater over top of it. And then I did have one Michael Kors piece that was also, oh, it was $10. And I love it. It's big and flowy, and it's so nice in Florida because it just flows with the breeze. So I do find designer pieces too, cheap. Thanks for joining me. I hope I've helped you. And
Beth,
yes.
Rosalind Gadd wants to know what's the difference between a kimono and a shawl.
All right, a shawl is, I threw all this stuff on the floor. Now I've got to find my shawl. Okay. This is my shawl. So it drapes around my neck. And there are no sleeves or holes or anything like that. And it just drapes and has fringe on it. But my kimonos typically will have places where your arms are supposed to go and they fit a little different. So this is one of my kimonos. And you see it has a definite neckline and it has sleeves. Kimonos tend to be, have a little more style to them, a little more flowing, where the cape or the poncho is just going to hang. It doesn't usually have any extra flair. And this is cut like, this will have a handkerchief hem. So they're usually a little more decorative, for lack of a better word.
Okay, Chris, Snotty, do you want to give your question or do you want me to read it? Okay. Chris Snotty wants to know, can you describe which haircut styles fit the face shapes?
I'm not real good with which ones fit face shapes. There's lots of information online, and a stylist should know that. If I had my daughter here, I'd be glad to help you out because that's what she does. But there's tons of information online that will tell you for your facial shape. A lot of times it's, if you have a high forehead, you should wear your hair down over your forehead. If you have an elongated face, you don't want your hair especially long because it's going to pull your face longer. Those are some things I do know, but your stylist would be a much better person to ask than that, because I don't do hair. My daughter does my hair.
Linda, go ahead, ask your question.
Okay. Bev, I was wondering how we would find a thrift store that would have the clothing that you've shown us. Are they all thrift stores the same, or are there some?
No, they're definitely not the same. A lot of thrift stores are typically charity run. So Ohio Thrift is the Kidney Foundation. There's Volunteers of America. There's Goodwill, Salvation Army, those kinds of things. Those are typically thrift stores. Here in town where I live, the Cancer Ray has a thrift store. But then there are consignment shops. Consignment shops are usually where people take their clothes in and they get a percentage and the shop gets a percentage. And the clothing there tends to be, one, more expensive, but two, a little more stylish, a little more on trend, a little more name brand, that kind of thing.
How would we go about finding the ones that are connected to charities like you were talking about? Are they online? Can we do it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can Google them, and you can Google like Goodwill stores or Salvation Army stores, or just charity thrift stores.
Mhm.
But those, I know that Volunteers of America, Goodwill, and Salvation Army are all over the United States. Then there are, and a lot of consignment stores also do furniture, household things, just all sorts of things. Especially when you go to Florida. I'm a couple of my favorite ones are in Florida. But it's because there's such a turnover of people down there, retiring and moving and that sort of thing. But a lot of churches will have them in certain places.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. A lot of good comments, Bev.
Oh, I haven't read them. I don't even know how to. I can't read them after we're done, right?
Diana,
we
we'll
can-
send those.
We can send you a chat list. Yeah. Not a problem.
Yeah, because I'd like to know, like I said, I've never done this virtually. I usually go into people's homes, or I'll go to break rooms at work or something like that and do this.
For instance, Charlene Miller says, beautiful selections, and I love the way you complement each outfit. Another one says, very enjoyable and information presentation, Bev. I'm going to chime here. Thank you. And it's
I think
good to
Sally
see.
has a question.
Okay, Sally. Okay, go ahead.
My daughter has shopped in a thrift store for children in Chagrin Falls. And the clothes are practically new because, children go through sizes
So quickly.
so quickly. I wonder if those are widespread or are they just in occasional places?
Now, where I go to thrift stores, they all have a children's section. And in fact, my niece that lives in Pittsburgh will text me and say, Aunt Bev, I'm looking for this in a size 6 or this in a size 3, because she knows I go regularly. And then my sister will take it when she goes out to visit in Pittsburgh.
Well, I
Because
know my daughter,
she doesn't have time to shop with 3 little girls. So
my daughter took the children and let them pick.
mhm.
And they each came home with 3 outfits for the price she had intended to pay for one dress each.
Yes. And like you said, most of the time they're in great shape because kids don't wear their clothes very long.
They wear a dress 3 times and they're outgrowing it.
You can get prom dresses for pennies on the dollar. It's just amazing. There are all kinds of things, and I have repurposed tables, lamps, all sorts of things like that.
And we haven't even mentioned one important item. We're keeping them out of the landfill.
Exactly. And I have a friend who runs a plumbing company, and they go through a lot of rags. So what he does now is buys the cheapest t-shirts he can find at a thrift store, and he cuts those up and uses them as rags instead of buying new rags. That doesn't even make sense.
I just saw that Charlene wrote in and said she thought that store that I'm talking about was called Once Upon a Child.
Yes, that's a chain. There are several of those. And then there's a teenage one called Plato's Closet. But the thrift stores usually have children's sections too, and they'll be even cheaper than Once Upon a Child.
But that's a good habit for the children to know about.
That's the first place I take my grandkids when we're looking for something. If we can't find it there, then we'll start looking somewhere else. But that's literally, I could probably pick out 5 things in my closet that I went to a Kohl's or someplace else for. I just don't do it. I got in the habit 15 years ago, 17 years ago, and I just never broke the habit.
Jane Warner has her hand up. In the chat, she said she'd like to see your last slide.
Oh, I did forget that, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up.
It is, and I don't know, I don't know. This is what I usually hand to people when I'm there with them. It's when I do a style consult for them, and we literally look through their closet and say, do you have these staples? And if they don't, we make a list over on that right-hand side under notes, what they're missing. And then they know what they need to look for. And then we also kind of evaluate what kinds of fashion things they have. You know, we tend to get in ruts as people. We just, you know, some people have a favorite color, and there's a series of questions at the top that I ask. And one of them is, you know, what color do you wear the most? But some people will say, wear only purple. And so in one way that's good, because you can just about wear anything you have with anything else that you have. But it's nice to change it up once in a while too. So if we go through and we kind of look at the staples and then say, now what do you have? Because the point is, you should be able to take those staples, add 1, 2, 3 things and make an outfit. Take those same staples and add something different and make a whole different outfit. And not have to have a bajillion things in your closet. It's just not necessary. I say that I'm preaching to myself. telling myself that. But this is what I do when I'm at someone's house individually, is we actually go to their closet and do those things. And then if I'm with a small group, like somebody's invited people to their house, I will have them bring an outfit that they want help with. And we'll talk about what they could do with it. And I'll go over staples and adding fashion and that sort of thing, and what to look for if you're going to a thrift store, or because you can find accessories, shoes, jewelry, any of that kind of stuff at a thrift store. The thrift store, again, that I go to has constantly got brand new shoes, and boots and all sorts of things. So we go through that and I help them with the outfit they brought, and hopefully they can stick with that, sticks in their mind, and then they can do it on their own when they get home. Oh, my travel wardrobe. Yeah, my travel wardrobe. There are a couple things I do there. Typically, I'm not a jeans person when I travel, because if jeans get wet, it takes forever for them to dry. So I will wear clothes that I can rinse out and will dry quickly. And I take usually khaki, black, maybe navy, those basic colors. I usually take a t-shirt to go with those. And then I'll take something, I'm thinking winter because I'm headed for Iceland in September. So I'm thinking what I'm going to wear there. And I'll have leggings underneath. What I tend to do is take my oldest, worst underwear, throw it out as I wear it, and not bring it back. So that lightens my load as I go. If I don't do that, then I roll that inside something else, if at all possible. I have an all-weather jacket that is waterproof and has a zip out lining, so I can wear that or not. I take socks that are not cotton because they don't dry quickly. Let's see, what else do I do? I usually take just a couple of bras, wear one, rinse one, like that. And I usually take one good pair of walking shoes, because my intent is to get out and see things and meet people and try things. So I wear one good pair of walking shoes, and then I usually take a pair of, I call them orthopedic flip-flops. My chiropractor recommended them. And that way I can wear them in the hotel. They are waterproof. I can wear them in the shower, that sort of thing, if I need to. So I have those two things. I don't typically take much. I can travel just about anywhere in a carry-on. I went to London for 10 days in a backpack. And my girls did too. We have had this rule. We've traveled as a family since my kids were little, and we've had this rule that if you can't carry it, you can't take it. We're not carrying it for you.
Constance Fleming has a question. What do you do with your clothes when you get tired of them?
I have a friend with 7 children, and I have another friend with 9 children, and another friend with 6 children. And they will take a lot of my things. And I donate them. I work with several missions in and around Columbus. And so I will donate them. So they're usually given away. Or I send them back to the thrift store. Somebody else can enjoy them.
Doreen, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to share a comment from Doreen Henson. Says, Happy Earth Day. We are reusing when we shop at a thrift store, reduce, reuse, recycle for our earth. And I'd like to say we intentionally planned this session for Earth Day, but that would be giving us too much credit. Oh, Bev, you did a wonderful job. This has been delightful.
Well, thank you.
Diana, was there something you wanted to share?
Well, I know, as you know, I have limited closet space. So it sounds like she goes shopping regularly. Do you have a rule that if I bring in a new outfit, another one goes out? Or how do you manage your storage space?
Well, I should have a rule like that, but I don't. Up until this last fall, I have lived alone for many years, and my family's getting ready to build a house, so they're living with me. There are 6 of us in 1,150 square feet. So every closet in the house was mine. So I thought I had to fill it, and I have. And my kids laugh at me because one is all pants and one is all this, that kind of thing. So I have way too much, but I will be moving soon, probably by the end of the year. So that will force me to get rid of some of this stuff. And I'm one of those persons, like I said at the beginning, I have way too many sizes. And it's easy to say, I really like this. And who knows, I might gain weight. I'll keep it. But that nice Calvin Klein dress is way too big, so I need to get rid of it.
Bonnie Truby asked, where did you say, or what's the name of the thrift store where you go now? You live in Grove City, correct?
I do.
Okay, and your thrift store is?
There's Ohio Thrift and Volunteers of America and the cancer, forget what they call it. It's the Cancer Thrift Store, I think. There's another name for it, I'm sure, but one sponsored by the cancer. We used to have one called Restyle. It was a nice consignment shop, but that went out of business during COVID.
Yeah, so are all of these that you named in Grove City?
Yes, but you'll find multiples of those around. And I'm sure you can find one close by.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they're all run all over the state.
I know when I was observing student teachers, I would sometimes comment on how professional they look. And they would tell me that they bought their shirts and their slacks, the guys, at the thrift store. And they just look so nice. And they dress so well.
Well, that's another thing, because I don't think men dress up very often, especially.
No.
And so their clothes aren't worn either. But, when I look at teachers today, sometimes I just am appalled at what I see them teaching in. I just couldn't do it.
Crane Ladd said the cancer shops are called discovery shops.
Oh, no, that's not what this one is called.
Okay.
It was called the organizations are called Cancer Rays, and but I'm not sure what their shop is called.
Okay.
Question.
Sally has a question.
Yes, does Dress for Success still exist?
Yes, it does. And they will take clothes. And there are a couple of organizations I belong to that collect for them. So
because when I retired, over a period of a year's time, I gave away 40 suits. And remember when we all used to dress in suits and
Yes, hence this one. Yep.
Thank you for sharing that, Sally. I think even didn't Alpha Delta State collect for Dress for Success a few years ago?
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah.
Gamma Xi chapter organized it for our state convention.
Right.
When
Very
the
good.
convention was in Cincinnati, because we have
That's
a person
right.
that works at Dress for Success. And so our chapter would take things in and then we organized it through the convention.
That's right. Thank you, Joyce, for sharing that.
Yeah, didn't we collect clothes one year at convention and the next year it was accessories? Does that sound familiar,
Yeah.
Joyce?
You might be right.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely right, Debbie.
Okay.
yeah.
Debbie, it's good to see you're not crying.
No tears, no tears ran through the whole thing.
I think
Oh.
that was during Mary Jane Kaufman's biennium, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
The fun part about that is the gal that was there brought her car and she had to call for them to bring a truck because so much stuff was donated.
Oh, very good. Let's see, another comment. For those in the Columbus area, the Reynoldsburg Thrift Store is on Main Street in Reynoldsburg and it supports Columbus Cancer Clinic. And that's from Judy Valentine. Thank you, Judy. Are there any other comments or questions? Well, this has just been a delightful evening and we thank you so much, Bev, for sharing with us. And it's just amazing what you put together. And, you know, I've got a lot of black, but I don't dress it up like you do. So I'm going to have to get on the stick here.
Well, as a former heavy lady, black was my color. You know, you're told black hides a multitude of sins. So
Yeah, I know.
Bev,
yeah,
we appreciate you sharing your story with us. I know that sometimes that's not always an easy thing to do, but you did it with such grace and humility and gracefulness. And it's very much appreciated. Thank
well,
you.
thank you. People need to know that they're not alone.
That is right.
There are circumstances out there that affect all of us, and you just never know. You need to be kind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us and sharing your expertise.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's been fun.
And we have certainly enjoyed it and we appreciate it. And for all of you, if you have not signed in for attendance, make sure you do that. Go to chat, first name, last name, chapter name, and send it to everyone. And also there will be an e-blast going out this weekend for next week's sessions. On Tuesday, it will be the foundation presenting, and that's going to be at 7:30 instead of 7 o'clock like our usual meeting time. Then on Thursday, Michelle Koenig will have a session on container gardens for butterflies and other pollinators at the regular time at 7 o'clock. And then that will wrap up all the breakout sessions that had been planned for the 2020 state convention that we had planned for the Embassy Suites in Dublin. Please encourage your members to read the voice, read the e-blast, and get a heads up on what's coming for May and for June. And if there's nothing else, thank you for spending your evening with us and enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, Bev, thank you so much. You're a delight.
You're welcome. Thank you all for joining me.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night. Oh, shoot. Let's see.
Diana,
If Cindy Lawyer is still around, I'd like to tell her to stay for a second. Then she won't have to call me. Okay, Katie, what did you need, dear?
I just want to ask, did you say you already sent me the list from Tuesday or you were going to send it to me? Because I
No, I
didn't see it in
just
my email.
sent it prior to our meeting tonight.
That's
Did you
weird,
not
'cause
get it?
I don't see it.
Oh. See, now somebody, let's see, I sent an email to
I don't
Nancy
see it in
Waters, and she
here.
didn't get it either. So I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I'll resend it. I'll just forward it again.
That would be great. If you'll resend it to me, I'll get working on it. I already got some of the chat written down from tonight. And
Okay.
so that was
Okay.
great. And as a side note, I did want to tell you, I was chuckling when she was telling us about the travel stuff tonight, because my husband and I have the same rule. We only go by carry-on. And whenever we get off planes, as we walk by baggage pickup, he always looks over and says, "I love you," because I never have baggage pickup. And we always
Right.
go right by the baggage claim and zip right out first. And it's great. It really
That is
is.
great.
If you can do
Yeah.
it without taking luggage, it's a beautiful thing. So
Right.
I was chuckling when I heard that. So yeah, I'll watch for that email and I'll have it all caught up for you tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, Linda, did you get your email?
Did you send one today?
Yes.
No?
I sent it probably about 6:15.
Maybe I
See, it
didn't,
come through.
maybe I haven't checked. I don't have my phone out here.
Okay, I'll send both of them Tuesdays and tonight's together, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty.
Have a good night.
Good night.
And Diana, I
Yes.
need the link for the Zoom meeting in May, the connectivity.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I got that one for you. Oh, Linda, we'll announce that one on,
Okay, I had it in my article.
Here's a lady.
yeah, I know you do, but
Puzzle.
we can announce it next week.
Her head.
Oh, okay,
What's
sure.
coming up, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Link for.
It's hard to believe it's Thursday already.
Oh, I know. Hi, Debbie. There was something else I needed to talk to you about and I cannot remember it now for the love.
Me too. I'm sitting here thinking, because we were talking, I was packing up at the office, getting to my car, and I got up the road and I thought, oh, there was something else. And now it's just left me again. I thought if I sat here long enough.
Need me to remember. Right.
Not happening. Not happening.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll call you tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be around.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
right.
you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll see ya. Night.
Night.